Hello, welcome. Today we are presenting the latest iteration of the I Am Presence workshop, here posted on the Hidden Stargate day of 4/4/2022. What do we mean by inner Stargate, a hidden Stargate? As you know, the universe breaks down to numbers, and when we have these special days that like 2/2/2022 that sort of awaken you and register your consciousness, that there's a special frequencies and energies being downloaded and encoded to us from the universe to help usher forth the divine plan, to awaken us a little further, enlighten us, etc., etc. And when it's in your face, 2/2/2022, it's pretty apparent. When there's 4/4/2022 or 6/4/6/6/2022, meaning 2468, like extensions of that number date. We sometimes say hidden Stargate. It points to rather an inner taking, an inner working of the downloads that are being given to us by the divine, rather than when it's 2/2/2022 or 1/1/2021, whatever, as in your, a boom, boom, a beacon, an outer awareness and a more of a universal consciousness. Sort of like, when the Mercury retrograde effect astrologically allows us to go within. So it's the same kind of thing. So today, 4/4/2022 is actually a very powerful sort of inner Stargate day, if you will. So all the downloads that you receive today energetically, whether you're participating in an event like this or just on your own going about your business, will help you to process on an internal level, whether you do it consciously or unconsciously, whatever downloads the universe is bringing to us today. So it's just a peak time to connect more with the divine than a normal flow. And the divine gives us this in peak times at certain times to just prod us along and push us along. And so that's why it's being posted today. The I Am Presence workshop is one of those I've been doing on and off. It's more of a recent one. From, as many of you know, I've been doing these workshops, whether through Zoom here or live in a healing center, for many years now. And because we are evolving in spite of all the craziness out there, we are able to take on and experience more and more. And the I Am Presence, as you may know, or as you will discover, is, sort of like the penultimate experience of connecting with Source while you are in a physical body. Let's just say that. And so that's why it's being posted today. But whether you view it today on the Stargate actual date or any other time in the future, you are encoded and downloaded with the experience and a special connection through the vehicle of this event to help you, prod you along and move you along on your path wherever you are. And wherever you are is perfect. So the experience, whenever you come to it, has been downloaded and encoded with the highest spiritual information, which will filter through your higher self and your I Am Presence as strongly as it can at this time. And that's one thing I want to stress with these events, at least mine going forward. And, anyone really at this time. In other words, don't beat yourself over the head because you don't ascend in 2 minutes. You know what I mean? It's an ongoing process. It's not about escaping, as you'll find throughout the course of this experience, the teachings of this experience. It's not about escaping the body. It's about being in the body and receiving and anchoring, holding light, and allowing it to disseminate however it will, according to the divine plan, through your instrument for your particular part in the whole scheme of things. Every pebble on the beach is just as valuable as the next and just as important. So for those of you new to this current format of online Ascension Alignment events and workshops, posted below in the description box on YouTube are the most recent Ascension events that I've done. So you can revisit them leading up to this if you haven't already, and I highly suggest you do. And they are posted on the latest series of important Stargate dates. And this period from 12/12/2021 to 2/2/2022 and now on is a pretty powerful, strong period of Stargate dates where the universe has really downloaded and given us strong energetic impulses to move forward on our path. And a lot of resistance to that crops up, and a lot of awakening happens at the same time. So that's why a lot is going on in the world, in your own life, etc. So I highly encourage you to experience them if you haven't, when you can, in conjunction with this experience. As well, pertinent videos to assist you in your ongoing ascension process are posted below as well. They in turn have links to other videos to assist you as far and as deep as you are prepared to go at this time. Again, don't push yourself. And as always, trust your impulses. As always, please hit the like and subscribe buttons and that little bell in the corner there to be notified of upcoming videos, which would, so you'll know. Also, please share with anyone on your lists. These particular series of videos that I've been doing are offered to anyone. If you would like to take your journey further and receive a private session or become certified as a practitioner yourself, you can always contact me here at the email link provided below in the YouTube description. So for those of you who have been following, you have seen with increasing regularity the appearance of these video workshops, mirroring the ever-increasing influx of divine pressure. That's my term. I don't think anybody else has used it, so I'm coining it. I'm claiming it. Divine pressure prodding us along. We visited the Mahatma energy, the violet flame, the new sacred symbols, etc. And now we're moving up, so to speak, with the I Am, and more will be coming on the higher divine rays during the June 2022 Stargates and beyond. So before we continue, a few things. Important to keep in mind, even though there are a lot of crazy, abhorrent things going on in the world, the divine energies are still anchoring, still prompting those of goodwill to anchor and hold light in spite of the darkness swirling around. Putin, war in Ukraine, Somalia, Afghanistan, Syria, child trafficking, child sacrifice, God forbid, COVID, all the COVID stuff, drug cartels, Trumpism and white supremacy threatening to unravel democracy that so sorely we fought for. Trans, homo, xenophobia, all the isms, anti-wokeness, when being awoken is the exact right thing to do and be. Awful politicians who exhibit crazy behavior, pedophile priests, and on and on and on. It's not enough now anymore to just slug it off as all part of the divine plan, as an excuse to not hold light. But it is acceptable to endeavor and intention to now come from the higher perspective, instead of feeling that all of your efforts are for naught and it's a constant battle between light and dark. It's easier said than done, but what is now truly required, it's now truly required to come from that space and to have the conscience that I am coming from that space, not working towards it, right? And that's the shift that is needed and that we've been wanting and reaching for so long. And because we've been doing that for so long, we feel like we still have to do that for so long, and you don't. And so that's part of the reason for this event and things like it, to remind us that no, remember, you're not here to learn anything. You're here to remember, to awaken, to remember who you are, so to speak. My teacher says it better, but along those lines, I think you follow. It's not enough just to be detached anymore. But yes, actively sending light with compassion is important, while at the same time creating a new reality for yourself based in light, even though it seems, sometimes impossible for whatever reason. Remember, as above, so below. So all this war is mirroring the spiritual warfare going on. And it's very easy to get depressed or take too much on to try to change it, etc. It's why it's important to keep yourself grounded and spiritually tuned up. So thus an event like this and other things you come across, books, meditation, teachings, teachers, very important not to rest on your laurels or phone it in. If you are a professional light worker, or drop the ball if you're just a being who wants to hold light, but still a mom, a janitor, a CEO, etc., just do what you can. The whole concept of the I am presence is disrupting the long-held, entrenched process of hierarchy, meaning, slave master, king servant, president, voter, all the things that create a false sense of recreating heaven on earth and our relationship with Source. It's coming into a space of what we call divine equality. And we'll go into that a little bit more. So we're so inured, we're so used and entrenched to worshiping the priest or worshiping the gods or, looking up to this one and that one, that we forget our own inner teacher, or believe that we are, because we've been held down so long, to believe that we weren't worthy. And there are a lot of people that still operate that way. But those of us who, if you've come to experience like this, you're obviously on the path to changing that. And you just maybe need a prod or assistance. And that's what this is all about. So the whole point of connecting consciously with your I am presence, again, is to now come from your divinity while embodied in this physical incarnation. It's, rather than just utilizing all these amazing aspects of source energy to reach that state. It's another thing. Oh, I'm going to call on this, I'm going to call on that. Yes, but you're calling it in to align with it and become one with it and come from it and then move forward, right? And that is what we mean when we say intention is the key to ascension. You must now believe that you come from and operate from effulgence, no matter what is happening in 3D reality. And that you have to pay your rent, eat, bathe, etc. You no longer have to feel that you need to work hard at it, again, to be worthy and aligning with the energies of creation, because you are the energy of creation in physical form. And while on the physical plane, yes, you do have to pay rent, you have to bathe, you have to eat, you have to deal with people that maybe you don't want to deal with, etc., etc., etc. But it doesn't mean that you can't come from the consciousness of your divine I am presence and then deal with it, rather than wait for everybody to catch up before you connect that far. No, because nothing will ever change, or it'll take forever. And again, the divine pressure concept, the universe is prodding us along, and a lot of these Stargate dates indicate peak times that it's doing that, like today, 4/4/2022. Remember, it is your divine birthright to align with who you are, which is the energies of creation itself. Period. The time is now. not tomorrow, not next year, not when you get initiated into this and that and this and that. Now, so wherever you are, and whatever light you can anchor or invoke to positively affect your and your loved one's life, even if it's a little bit, is invaluable to indeed what the divine plan really is. And so that's why we say every pebble on the beach is important. That's why we say wherever you are is where you're supposed to be. You hear that saying a lot. It doesn't mean that you can only be here and not here. What it means is wherever you are, if you're coming from that space, it is what you're supposed to be doing, and that will change and grow as you change and grow and become stronger and more empowered. So, and it will work. And when resistance, it'll work as it can at different times, sometimes more, sometimes less. And when resistance in some form may crop up, and then if you follow through, it will pick up again. So again, nothing is perfect. It's a process. It's ongoing. You see all the backlash in culture and religion and politics, etc., to progress on every level. Again, that's mirroring the spiritual warfare of yes, no, yes, I want it. No, I don't. No, I don't want to give up my lower self. Yes, I want it. No, I don't want to give up my lower self. So we're unfolding individually and collectively through that process. So, just when you get off the wagon, if something happens and you drop the ball, get back on again. Just don't stay off or give up. That's the key. And this event and things like it will help you sustaining, maintaining, and attaining a continuous conscious connection with your I am presence in the simplest, most practical, hands-on manner. And that is what, my work, my mission has been all about, to help everyone do the same and to keep, telling everyone, don't forget to do it. To that end, why don't we start right now from the get-go? Let's connect and see where we are now. All right? So let's get comfortable, right? Sit upright, not rigid, or recline gently, whatever you can. Arms at side, palms up. And let's focus on receiving now. If you're on your earphones or earbuds, make sure, when the music comes, it doesn't shock you. The volume is good, not too low, not too high. Make sure, of course, you're undisturbed from pets or children or anything. And you're, especially when I'm talking, it's okay. But when we go into the space itself to receive, fully, it's best, of course, to be undisturbed. But again, you can always revisit this and you'll still get it then if something happens. Just, trust that it will unfold. All right. So here we go. So let's now gently close your eyes. Take 3 deep life force breaths in through the nose and gently out through the mouth. And by the third exhalation, if you haven't yet, gently close your eyes and give over as best you can. And with each continuing breath, become aware that as you inhale, Source exhales. And as you exhale, Source inhales. As you inhale, Source exhales. And as you exhale, Source inhales. You and Source are one. And just allowing now all the sounds and distractions of 3D around you, outside your space, Just be what it will. You are here now in this sacred space, regardless of what is going on around you or inside you, to connect and align at a deeper level. And so now slowly and gently bring to the forefront of your mind any and all feelings, images, senses, memories, fears of what all of your life others may have projected onto you, that you took on, of who they thought you were or wanted you to be, and that you wasted so much time trying to live up to or to please. Allowing others to control you, burying your own special light. Now here in this sacred space, in this holy moment, intention simply yet firmly to release now all of this stagnant emotional energy, perhaps weighing you down, perhaps making you feel stuck. All of this is an illusion that you may have attached to. And now, as with unclogging a sink, it is high time to pop open the stopper and allow all of this unwanted debris to release now down the drain, as it were. Go as much and as far as you can. No need to force or push. Start with intention the process. Intend now before Source, and as you breathe with Source as one, that you no longer care to reach for heaven on earth. Starting here, starting now. You can create heaven on earth. If not now, when? If not you, who?
Fighting voices in my mind that say I'm not enough. Every single lie that tells me I will never measure up. Am I more than just the sum of every high and every low?
And so now, taking a moment to integrate this returning, this reawakening to all whom you may be and are in alignment with Source. Continuing to breathe deeply and evenly. Eyes still gently resting closed. As relaxed as you can be naturally. With each breath, continuing to understand that as you inhale, Source exhales. And as you exhale, Source inhales. As you inhale, the I Am exhales. And as you exhale, the I Am inhales. You and Source, you and the I Am are one. And as you now have cleared somewhat more of a space in your consciousness of old, stubborn thought patterns, now again, here in this sacred moment, intention now to more consciously align with your I Am presence as it will come to you now, or rather reveal to you that it was and is always there, awaiting your awakening.
I am timid and I am oversensitive. I am a lioness. I am tired and defensive. You take me in your arms and I fall into you. I have insecurities. You show me I am beautiful. Love me or leave me, just take it or leave it. It's not that I'm needy, just need you to see me. Take me, free me, see through to the core of me. Take me, free me, there will be no more pretending. I am temperamental and I have imperfections and I am emotional. I am unpredictable. I am naked. I am vulnerable. I am a woman. I am opening up to you. Love me or leave me, just take it or leave it. It's not that I'm needy, just need you to see me.
And when you are ready, taking all the time that you need, slowly and easily open your eyes, awaken to the present, here and now. So, that's just to get us initially adjusted and, make that conscious connection to come from this space rather than reaching for it. It's a very important part of this experience today. And so remember, when all these intense stargates, solar flares, world changes, ascension symptoms you may be experiencing, we're all in transition from more dark to more light, to the quote-unquote golden age of light. Our intention, our activation, our anchoring of energy is the key, is the engine. Again, the old paradigm was reaching towards that reality continuum. Our karmic memories, unresolved patterns, etc., subconsciously kept us feeling disempowered. Or like Sisyphus rolling the boulder up the hill only to have it come crashing down and having to push it up again. And attached to that, all the feelings of unworthiness or being a fraud, etc., victimhood, resignation. But the Mahatma, the divine higher rays, the divine pressure ever nudging us on, has radically distorted that to help break up those patterns and get us in a short amount of time to again flip into the new paradigm, which is I am. And whatever you as an empowered, awakened individual manifest after that ultimate of affirmations, I am, is manifest. That I am awareness, or more conscious awareness consciously of your own I am presence, your individuated God spark, is the catalyst and the reward to start through all the chaos working itself out to begin to create heaven on earth and what that means for you. Your intention, which is the key to ascension, is the answer to living a more authentic life. But no, you are still subject to the processes of biology and whatever your personal karma may be, right? But how much sweeter and richer through the grace of the I am that you can here in your body experience as much divinity as possible and more in the next incarnation that's coming. But why not manifest from that alignment right now? More love, more light, and even more lushness of earthly experience, but in alignment with your own source. What could be better? That's what this workshop, this spiritual gym, is all about. This is not like being in a cult or being woo-woo. That kind of judgment or reaction by some when they see things like this, or people like me, etc., is a fear-based response to giving up lower vibrational emphasis as the pinnacle of earthly living, which we all know it's not at some point in our life. We all know and come to the space where, it's got to be something better than this. But that doesn't mean, you cut it off. It means you transition. You don't cut off your life. It means you transition to coming from a more empowered space rather than wallowing in sex, drugs, and rock and roll as a way to achieve fulfillment or fullness. It's all about balance, right? While in this chaotic transitional lifetime, to hold, anchor, spread love and light. We all can relate as we mature that making love is better than casual, meaningless sex, that being healthy in lifestyle is better than bringing on, unnecessary disease and living sickly. To be a kinder, more loving person rather than being chaotic and defensive with everyone and so on, forth and so on. So if you approach ascension, your ascension, in this balanced way, there's no need to fear your destiny or that you're not doing enough or you're doing too much or you're whatever. Just create pockets of magic where you can to buffet you in the more challenging times. As the Buddha preached, the middle way. Extremes don't work. I recently saw the docuseries on Heaven's Gate cult. And they really got it all wrong. But they were stimulated during that peak time, in the late 80s, 90s of this, of the ascension energies ratcheting up. And their karma was to play out very publicly so that people can see what not to do, how not to respond to ascension's call. We are born to be here, not to run away or go up in a spaceship. I highly recommend you watch it. It's on Hulu, I believe. It's fascinating, especially if you've been involved in the spiritual path for any amount of time. And you see this and the history of, how they unfortunately had to hold that anchoring of that resistance to expose it, and to knock it out, as much as possible. And there are and were other cults like, death-seeking groups like Jim Jones, Waco, etc., that got the message wrong because they felt disempowered and they became enthralled by a charismatic charlatan. So it's very important, right, to align with a teacher or group, etc., that encourages self-empowerment, love, and service to man, and awakening to dealing with your crap and reach to the truth of your own inner teacher, which is, an intense journey. The spiritual path is intense, right? But it's what the real call of the divine is. Your transformation allows others the space to awaken on their own. And trust me, as I know full well, you will never get credit for it, because most people will project and respond and react if they aren't as evolved as you are hoping to be or attempting to align to be, out of fear because they feel disempowered or they feel, they don't want to give up this and that. And so they project on you or they ridicule you, whatever. None of that matters, whether it's your closest. When you're on the spiritual path, our hardest lessons is usually within our own family. Being disowned or being shunned or told you're creepy, whatever. If you're sitting and meditating and wanting love and light and to live a kinder, better way, and people think that's creepy, then there's something wrong with them. You know what I'm saying? As long as you're not doing anything crazy or woo-woo, or doing something weird or not living, like these cults, like the Heaven's Gate cult, etc., or living crazily and believing, if you go up in a spaceship, you're going to attain ascension, whatever. But if you, people might think I'm weird, but that's fine. They could think what they want. But I'm just living my life in 3D, but I'm also, holding light and space for others to help them and myself to, experience, because through the great teacher I had and the experience of my own journey, I felt firsthand directly what it is to be aligned with Source. It spurts here and there, I wish it was 24/7, but it's not the way it works. It's not a bang, boom, you ascend it. It's an ongoing process, coming and going and giving and taking and resisting and surrendering, because it's all part of the divine plan unfolding. Don't forget, we're all connected. We all mirror everything in the universe and each other, right? Whether we like it or not. And so, depending where you're at in your karma, things will be easier or harder at different times, right? But, I've just held light and I've just aspired to, and some may say sacrificed a lot or taken out a lot, et cetera, here or there for those I've loved, et cetera, et cetera. But whereas somebody who's more lower vibrational 3D would be a little more, quote unquote, selfish. But there's a selfish that's good, like Abraham Hicks and Esther Hicks points out, to be selfish so you can create a reality, through the law of attraction. Or there's bad selfish where you purposely just hoard and greed and, these oligarchs with these $870 million yachts, for fuck's sake. What do you need with an $870 million yacht? And I think one guy has two of them. When you think about it, it's kind of ridiculous because that money was ill-gotten gains off the backs of poor people. And what could possibly in that yacht to be worth that much money that could be helping and feeding people all around the world? And you could still have a $70 million yacht, which is still too much money. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. The point is not everyone is going to respond to the call. So again, it's about balance. So you still have to pay your rent. You still have to bathe. You still have to brush your teeth. You still have to deal with people, whether you like it or not. As my teacher says, we're here for sex and cheesecake. You still have to learn and grow and live your life. But if you do it more and more in alignment with Source, you find that you save yourself from the worst of it, and you attract as much as you can of the best of it. And part of the problem is people now are just giving up or dropping the ball too much. And that's why people like me are tasked by Source to channel these events. And those who respond to me or respond to somebody else will be drawn, etc., to keep you going like a pep. It's really like a pep rally. Nothing I'm saying is patronizing. You all know this, especially if you've been around for a while. But it's nice to have that pep rally, just like I go to my teacher to be pepped up and to fortified to keep going. So anyway, you have many tools at your disposal, as I've been, preaching for the longest time. Access to the energies of creation, that which you are, and that which is your divine birthright to experience. And, the Mahatma, the violet flame, the I am presence, all these aspects of Source energy. And of course, if you haven't yet, or if you've experienced or will, some of the events linked below in the YouTube description about them, you'll experience stuff that I can't say here because we're focusing on connecting ultimately with the I am, right? So it's just like when you eat. You don't want to eat Italian food every day. Some days you want Chinese, some days you want Mexican. It's all food, but there's different aspects of Source that you need or feel for different. Just like you eat different foods because your body feels it needs different nutritional values and things. But it's all food. It's all good, hopefully, and it's all stuff you need to fuel you. It's the same thing spiritually. The energies are all there. It's always with you as you align to it, but you may need a special connection at certain times to one or the other aspects for a particular reason. And so the more you consciously intention and do that, the farther you go along. In the intro video that's linked below, I give you a real process of overall system of how to incorporate all the divine energies into your life daily, very simply and easily. Few minutes here or there a day, that over time, regularly practiced and performed, if you will allow that alignment more and more as you can. So again, the energy is always present. The videos are there, and I wanted to read from the Mahatma Bible, the Mahatma book, or I have many versions of them. This is one that at workbook is cut in half and all distorted. But anyway, this is the Mahatma 1 and 2 of Brian Grattan that was channeling information about the Mahatma and the I am. And I just wanted to read you from that because it's, a lot more wiser and source oriented than I can say. So it says here, I would encourage you to integrate the I am completely into your consciousness, for this is, after all, who you are, regardless of opinions expressed by your personality self, overwhelmed by the fact that it is the veritable embodiment of the I am presence. Meaning you are the veritable embodiment of the I am presence. And as we awaken to that more and more, it's like, oh shit. It's like that maxim, be careful what you ask for, you'll get it. It's like you wanted this awakening, wow. And when you realize it, at first it is strong. When I did, it was intense, and I'm sure all of you have experienced on some level or another. Once you recognize your presence as the I am, effort will be required in the ignition and integration in this. You will become a greater and greater wholeness of who you are as the I am. Once you expand your consciousness to become the I am that you are, expect deliverance. In fact, demand deliverance, and know that the Creator is you. And you, the Creator, have free will and can create anything within your perceived limitations and within the cosmic laws of appropriate manifestation. There is nothing as powerful as the loving abundance and radiance of joy perceived and recognized as you integrate and become that which you are as the magnificent I am presence. And every time I do these workshops, I happen to come across a perfect quote or something that is relevant. And of course I have to, tell you guys. So I came across this quote the other day from Paramahansa Yogananda. It reminds me of a little joke, funny thing. I had an old friend of mine, because when I was going through my process, I was so crazy myself years ago. And she used to call me Dramananda Yogananda. That was my nickname because I would be, scream out or lash out and go through all this craziness. You're going to go through periods probably, whether it's quiet or not, where you're, Dramananda Yogananda. But this is a direct quote from Paramahansa Yogananda that's pertinent here. And he says, don't depend on death to liberate you from your imperfections. You are exactly the same after death as you were before death. Nothing changes. You only give up the body. If you are a thief or a liar or a cheater before death, you don't become an angel merely by dying. If such were possible, then let us all go up and jump in the ocean now and become angels at once. Whatever you have made of yourself thus far, so will you be hereafter. And when you reincarnate, you will bring that same nature with you. To change, you have to make the effort. This world, I said this workshop, Freudian slip. This world, he says, is the place to do it. This world is the place to do it. So again, you don't escape in a spaceship. You allow it into your body and deal and hold and transform and transmute and allow it to work through you and disseminate out as source will freely, light wherever that may be. And that's why it's important what he's saying here is that you take with you and you come into the next incarnation, which we know is the basis of karma, right? But that's why I want to tell you that quote, because what it stresses is the importance of just because you don't have it all right now doesn't mean it's not working later on, or when you're in spirit in the bardo, or when you come back in your next lifetime. So again, as I've said many times, when you do the spiritual gym like this or any other event, teacher you go to, or facilitator you go to, you never lose spiritual muscle. Because we're in a body, not of a body, right? Your physical body is temporal, right? It's a vehicle. So of course you have to take care of it as part of your ongoing process of living to fully maximize your time here. But that's why the body also dissolves. Death is an illusion anyway. It's just like stepping into another door to another room. Of course, it doesn't feel that way when you're in the body. But the more you integrate and incorporate the energies and align with it, you fear death less because you feel the next step coming of more divinity and more grace. And you're more likely to open up to that and allow it, right? And so you take with you more of that, and then your life the next time is better. Your journey through the bardo is better. If you don't, and you keep going the other way and react and become entrenched in the dark part, you have to come back and more and recreate it. I know my teacher at one point said, if you're obsessed with something, even with drinking coffee every day, if you're obsessed level with something, you have to come back 10 lifetimes just to release that obsession. So, that's why, of course, any of this work is of value, even if you don't feel and see its effect 100% right now, this second. So know that. Because there's some people that I know are very spiritual that never feel anything, but they understand and know and trust and have faith that something has happened. Some people feel everything. Some people see everything. Some people don't have psychic vision. There's all reasons for that for your own karma and for different reasons where you're placed and what you're doing. It's not easy to be empathic, as many of you know. So wherever you're at is fine. Whatever work you do is great. And there's always some benefit to it, spiritual, that you never lose. When you work out in a gym physically, if you don't keep that up hard, you lose it. You see these big bodybuilders, if they take 3 months off and don't bodybuild, their muscles will start to atrophy. I mean, they won't go down to nothing, but they won't be, because they're in a body, and the body your soul is not an illusion, your body is, even though it feels most people think it's the other way around if they have no faith, etc. But that's the reality. The real reality is there, but it's all real, right? It's all real. It's all part of the same, process. Just now we're focused in 3D to carry out the next step, our part in the divine plan. And so again, the more you align with Source, allow Source to flow through you and allow that to bring you, knowing that your spiritual lifeline, right, which is what I do with these workshops and these healings and these initiations and events, is to help you connect more and more with that Source. The easier it is to go through life and death and everything else, because you are more aligned, constantly connected. You're not fighting and pushing it away and then having to, at the last moment, maybe experience when it's too late before you take your last breath. And, that's why they say a lot of people die with regrets. You always hear nurses, they interview sometimes in hospices. And the number one thing is people are always, die with regrets. They never did this, they never did that. They held back here. Maybe that's part of, the path too, is part of it. But why initiate that consciously if you don't have to, when you can initiate consciously not having any regrets? Wouldn't it be nice to die with no regrets and just leave, peaceful and free as much as possible, So the Mahatma, the 12 divine rays, the sacred symbols, the new healing modalities, especially the rising star, and in one way or another are always present. It's just you connect with them as your spiritual lifelines as you need, or you don't. And if you're a person of good nature and goodwill and good faith, even if you do nothing spiritual consciously, you'll get benefit. It's not like a tit for tat thing. But again, the more you put into it, the more you put out of it. The conscious alignment is the key, because when you're consciously aligned, you're manifesting from that space instead of blindly and half-baked. So to that end, let's take a moment, shake it out if you will. If you need to stand up, stand up. Up your lips, just to get a little bit of energy in your body. Adjust yourself as you need, so we can go now a little deeper to our experience. But first, let's explore the simplest, easiest method to access and manifest from your I Am presence. So I've done this before many times. A lot of you may know, so if you do, just please be patient and follow along for those of you who haven't. And I explained in the intro video very clearly how to do this. Because we are linear still in 3D, and because we are so used to ritual from lifetimes, our mind believes it needs a certain structure. So the trick was to allow the structure to be the minimal ritual, to be the minimal amount of possible, so that the mind can relax, and the ego can abate, and then you can allow the process to go forward. So if you do this every day, this simple, easy, I say technique, but process, let's say process, consciously, until you no longer have to do it, you just, You close your eyes, or even with your eyes open, and you know and you're connected. But until that time, you don't want to work too hard because life is going on and you don't want to get bogged down in ritual. That's the old way. And attached to all that because it's unnecessary. You don't need it anymore. And this is a big shift that's happening in the spiritual community because so many people are attached to old ways. But really, the vibration of the planet now and the way we are is I am presence, please be present. And it's there. You don't have to work for it. You don't have to take ayahuasca to get into altered states to reach it. You don't have to beat the drum for hours. You don't have to flagellate yourself, like in the medieval ages. You don't have to do any of that. You burn a little incense. You do a prema agni or a sacred symbol drawing to connect yourself. I am presence, please be present. And you're already there. The problem is people they think they need to feel in their body this overwhelming peak experience every moment for it to be working. And that's not how it works. Sometimes it does. Usually when you're collectively in a teacher in a group, like when I was many times with my teacher in Ireland in our yearly workshops in June, amazingly powerful, incredibly powerful, energetic, divine experiences, collectively and individually for all of us. But that doesn't happen all the time. That happens so that when you go on your own, you can sustain yourself even when it's just a day-to-day. It's the regularity of aligning consciously that starts to create that reality. And sometimes you don't realize it or feel it. It's working even because all the other stuff or resistance is coming up or other crap is going on or your landlord's bothering you or your coworker's bothering you or your mother-in-law's bothering you or whatever. It's still, rather than attached to all that drama, as you align more and more right with source, more and more the energy actually starts changing and shifting and aligning you more clearly with protection spiritually as opposed to not. So 3 is manifestation, 9 is completion, 3, 6, 9, right, is the key to the universe as Tesla, taught and many, esoteric scholars acknowledged. 3, 6, 9 is key to the universe. And it's just the way it is, I'm not here to analyze that. But if we accept and know that 3 is manifestation, 9 is completion, if we simply say these 3 things 3 times each, and then allow whatever's going to happen at that moment, at that time, whether it's small or large, to allow to flow through us, and then we come out of it, let's say, and go about our business. The regularity of that over time, and that simple, easy technique and process, if you will over time affect a more positive I am reality. And so what you want to do is you can put your hands over your heart. I would do left over right because left is receiving. When you want to release something, you right over left, right? So left over right if you want to put your hands on it, but you don't need to. You could do it quietly on the subway if you're among people. Because they don't even know. You can do it aloud in your room if you're alone or your roommate's not there, whatever. So what you want to say is your name, because what you want to do is you want to acknowledge who you are. Stand in your own power. That's the most important thing. You're not, the old paradigm of prayer was, oh, please help me, save me. Doesn't work. If that were the case, war in Ukraine would be stopped right now. Everything would be, children that are sick would be healed. Everybody's doing that. It doesn't work that way. That's not how prayer works. Remember, because we create our own reality, right? So even stuff that's unpleasant, but the more we realize who we are and stand in our own power and come from that space, we create more and more of a better reality. So you want to start with your name. I'll say I am Anthony. When I say I am Anthony, you say I am whatever your name is to yourself or aloud, wherever you're sitting there now, whenever you watch this. 3 times. Then you're going to say I am that I am, because particularly we're focusing on the I am presence. Your I am presence today, the highest connection with source in a body that you can connect to, right? But also, I am that I am is saying I am one with source, source is one with me. So you're acknowledging your divinity and you're recognizing it. That's important. So you see the thing, you're standing in your power, acknowledging it, and then you say, I am now calling forth whatever you want, the Mahatma, the violet flame, the I am presence, the yellow ray, whatever you're working on, whatever energy you're working on. And you can just leave it at that and let it filter and flow through you. Or you can do it for a specific purpose to, et cetera, to help in my relationship, to make my work situation better. And then you hold that space for as long as you can, usually with hands over heart, but you don't have to. And then when you feel full up for that time, when you feel that it's ready at that time, you just simply bring your hands into prayer position. Top of your hands touch your chin, you bow a little, acknowledging gratitude to the universe. And then you come out of it. And then you go about your business. How easy can it be? It's almost too easy. So sometimes you won't feel anything. Sometimes you'll feel, wow, this is great. I feel great. And over time, like anything else, at some point it'll just click and everything will start to unfold better and better and better. So what we're going to do now, again, like I said, I go with my teacher to get fortified. You're coming to me as a facilitator in some way to help you fortify so that when you do it on your own, it's that much more powerful, that much more connected, right? There's also, I don't think I mentioned, the integrating your I am presence meditation, which is designed to do like once a month or something. It's very deep and powerful. So you may want to close your eyes and listen to that. And it's YouTube linked below. So when you connect with the I am presence on a deeper level, so that when you go daily to contact it, again, it's like coming to this, it's stronger, so that when you do it on your own, it's even that much stronger, right? So let's get comfortable. Once again, right? And we're going to be under for a while, so just trust. And close your eyes. And together with me, silent or aloud, when I say my name, you say your name. And just follow along. So again, take 3 deep life force breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth. And by the third one, please close your eyes if you haven't. And you can place your hands on your heart, left over right, or just rest them gently at your sides. And follow along. I am Anthony. I am Anthony. I am Anthony. I am that I am. I am that I am. I am that I am. I am now calling forth my I am presence in all its magnificence to hold sacred space here and now, to align most strongly from a new integrated point of focus, that of conscious creative connection with my individualized I am presence, with the easiest possible reality. I allow and trust now to merge fully with my I am presence. And now, very easily and slowly, whenever you are ready, taking all the time you need, come back to the here and now. And so, remember, when you're doing this on your own, it doesn't have to be this elaborate with music and full affirmation. You just say, I am your name, I am your name, I am your name, I am that I am, I am that I am, I am that I am. I am now calling forth my I am presence. I am now calling forth my I am presence. I am now calling forth my I am presence. Again, usually good hands over heart, left over right. Whether you're standing, sitting, laying in bed when you first get up, whatever. And hold it for a minute, 30 seconds, 5 minutes, whatever time you have. And just allow it to be what it's going to be. You'll usually feel, a stirring, something. It might be small, it might be a lot. You might have emotional release, you might be joyous, whatever. And then when you're ready for that day, that time, before you go to work, before you go out, whatever, before you go to bed, just to start your day, whatever, put your hands in prayer, fingertips touch your nose. Your thumbs can even touch your chin if you want to be. You're bowing in gratitude. Thanks for whatever came through. And then when you open your hands, you release and go about your business. And so again, not only with all the energies of creation, but particularly the I am presence, this is how you connect over time more and more constantly and align more and more constantly. It couldn't be any simpler and easier. We were 10 minutes in with music, with full focus, with me holding space, with the Mahatma coming in strongly on a Stargate day. But, that strengthens you now. So when you do it on your own, it's that much more powerful, even if it's just for a minute a day. And so again, it's about coming from this space of integrated I am presence rather than feeling you need to reach for it, is what all these current stargates and solar flares and divine pressure is about. Helping us to flip the switch. And so going deep here in this setting, again, will fortify you so that when you daily call it on your own, it's that much more purposeful. And you can call on the various aspects of all the aspects of divine energy at different times for various reasons. Or you can go right to just invoking your I am presence every day, which encompasses everything, if and when you feel ready to do that, because it will change you. It will affect you. Just like you say, I am unworthy, I am no good, I'm crap, affects you. Just when you say, I am love, I am light, I am the I am presence, that affects you too, but more positively. Usually the hard, dark, lower stuff comes immediately because we're in a physical vibration. A lot of people are still in that space, and the higher stuff takes a little time. But, those of you coming to this event here today, I'm sure many of you, if not most of you, are fully ready and have been through a lot of stuff already, a lot of initiations and healings and teachers and whatnot. So, this is just a next step, simple, easy, practical, hands-on manner, which is what I preach, is what it is. You don't need more than that. It's there. But again, it's the aligning with, it's the intention, it's the connecting to in that simple way, daily over time, that allows it. Just like when you draw yourself a prema agni every day and bring yourself the heart energy. You don't just do it once, you do it every day. Just like you brush your teeth every day. You don't just do it once and then your teeth are clean for the rest of your life. You don't just bathe once and then you don't have to bathe anymore. It's just like it's part of your physical. This something like this simple little technique that I've just given you should become part of your routine, daily routine, just like, again, anything else you do. And it takes a few minutes? If you have a little more time, sit in meditation for a little more time. It'll even be more fun. But you don't have to, because again, it's the regularity of practice over time that affects a more positive, continuous outcome longer and stronger. It's the recognition of divine equality, and the acceptance to that is the real surrender now. What do we mean by that? Recognize and realize you're divine, you're equal to the divine. Even Jesus said you are greater than you know. It's not an egoic stance. That was the old paradigm. The one or two charismatic charlatans that, lorded over everybody, manipulated the masses who were sheeple and just followed along, hoping for any scrap or crumb. That's gone, right? It's not the old paradigm of being unworthy or beneath divine embrace. You are worthy of divine embrace. It's not only reserved for the priesthood that held in sway and power for so many lifetimes and cultures. Indeed, religion still does today. That's the remnants of it, but people are still attached. You have these preachers living in, $40 million mansions or $10 million homes and gold, this and that. People starving and suffering and preaching, from the Vatican to Joel Osteen to, Tammy Faye Baker. I just saw, The Eyes of Tammy Faye with Jessica Chastain just won the Oscar for Best Actress. It was great because it was a real look into, she was great, of course, was a real look into, even though she was genuine, he was more of a charlatan, obviously. It was a look into that experience. It's okay to have somebody to look up to and admire, but you don't have to make somebody rich to make you feel better. I remember when I was young, my father, was so desperate for financial attainment because he never had it. And there was this reverend called Reverend Ike, and he used to literally have the balls to say, send me money, and I'll get you money. And there's another reverend called Creflo Dollar. Can you believe he calls himself Dollar? And he has these Madison Square Garden packed with people. And people respond to this and give these people money. My father would give him money, hoping that he would get a prayer cloth or some cheap little fake dollar bill that he was supposed to put under his altar or whatever to make him rich. I'm going to make you rich. I'm going to make you rich. I'm going to make you rich. And just like Jim Baker too, the phony pastor, send us money. We need money. All these people, they're all the same. There's nothing wrong with supporting a group that you believe in that's doing real work, legitimate healing work. And there's nothing wrong with a teacher, a worldwide teacher, pastor making a decent living. But there comes a point where it becomes corrupt. And, so many people accept that, like we accept our politicians to be corrupt. Is anybody going to be held accountable for the January 6th beyond the crazy people that showed up there and mag it out? Or is any leader, is Clarence Thomas' wife, or he going to get in trouble and he's supposed to be, judging everybody else for what they did, try to bring down democracy? So we don't need to empower. The best way to empower yourself is to not to empower other people. It's like they're saying, stop making stupid people famous. Stop, they say that about the Kardashians and all these people that are, getting ultra wealthy for nothing. And they just have the cojones to take advantage of it. And the problem is people admire it because they want to do the same, but they can't. And the thing is, you shouldn't want to do the same. You should want to live a fulfilling life for yourself and in service to man as best you can and to move forward. Doesn't mean you can't have a nice life, but no one needs a $700 or $800, $70 million yacht. No one needs, I watched some of these shows, the world's most extraordinary homes, and this and that. And this one, I think, was it London or Paris? I think it was Paris. This reality show, very nice family. They're nice, but they're, high-end realtors. I think it was called The Agency or something. And it's a family that does high-end realty in France, Paris. And so it's one apartment that they can't build out there, but they can build down. So it's like 7 stories, luxury apartment, $87 million, something crazy like that. I was in London. And I'm like, what the hell are people doing? With that money, you can have 3 houses that are nice in different locations, still live comfortably, maintain them, have a good lifestyle, and help humanity. Because guarantee you, anybody that has that kind of money, 9 times out of 10 got it off the backs of people working for a lot less. And so I wouldn't want that karma, because I understand that I have to come back and be a pauper for the next 10, 30 lifetimes to make up for the success I did now. And it's just amazing to me how many people are detached from the concept of karma, whether they believe it's one lifetime and they die and go to heaven, or they come back and repeat. It is what it is. So many incarnated souls still blindly follow, yet we are at this point in time of awakening. And that's the empowerment, but devoid again of lower ego or God complex or slave complex in service to the Messiah complex. It's still resonant in our relationships. How many people, particularly women, disempower themselves to a man just to have the, pat of affection or whatever. Rather than a new age approach to creating with as source together. A real relationship is when 2 people come together to walk together towards God and support each other. One's down, the other lifts up, down. walk together equal, yeah, on their own as God, not where, like this. Like this. That's what a real relationship is. And relationships are hard now because so much is going on. So we're approaching the new age, quote unquote, approach to creating with as source. What do I mean by that? This is what the I am is all about. Connecting with the I am presence is all about. We used to always hear co-create with source, especially in the 80s and 90s when all the energies, higher energies were coming in. You heard, be a co-creator. And now through the I am, source is nudging us to create as source, as I am, with full alignment with source, not an egoic separation from source, which co-creating still is. Yes, technically you're in a body and source is source and you're in a body. But this is the point of ascension. This is the point of spiritual path that we all want, but we repulse at the same time. This is the point. As above, so below. I am that I am, and whatever you say after I am, you manifest. So manifest as source, from source, because you are source. This is the divine pressure to experience divine equality, right? So again, think of all this stuff, that this ongoing spiritual journey as an adventure. Most people, in the beginning, we all thought of it as a burden because we were working through all our crap and it was so hard and we would cry for days and weeks and go through all this drama. That's past a lot of it, unless you're really new and you have to work through it. But once you work through a lot of that, you got to think of it as an adventure, a spiritual process unfolding while again, you are still paying the rent, brushing your teeth, going to work, et cetera, et cetera. And just keep on invoking, allowing, and then giving over, and going about your business. And then repeat the next day. Get up and repeat the next day. Some days it'll be better, some days. And you'll find that as you do that, more and more synchronicities will ratchet up, right? You'll find that book on the shelf. That healer will appear to you. Somebody will call you and offer you the job that you didn't expect. Things will happen because you're not fighting that alignment. Like, Esther Hicks keeps preaching about with the law of attraction. Esther Hicks, I always say, I consider the greatest channel on the planet, Abraham Hicks. And if you notice, I've been following her all my life, right? And people have been following her all 40 years. She's still saying the same thing. They're saying it through her, rather. The same thing, because it takes so long for people to get it in their craw. That which you focus on, you create, and that which you focus on lack of, you create. So focus on, what you want to create, right? And eventually as you process, things will shift more and more without force, but you will spiritually detox, and it will eventually happen. Miracles, small and large, will eventually happen, but don't get crazy if you feel like you're going through a process, or you're feeling bad for a while, or, that's when you go see a healer. That's when you go see your teacher to get reinforced, et cetera, et cetera. And you will come to accept that. That's the way it is now, right? And until then, you have such events as these spiritual gyms as today, other events, books, etc., to keep you in shape. And so we're going to come to a drawing of close to this experience. But before we do, just a reminder, if you have any questions, please feel free to include in the comments below, and I'll answer. I'll look at it periodically. Like and subscribe to the channel. Please share this video to your lists and your friends, and if you think they'll be interested. And please check out the other videos linked below, because it will complement and reinforce a lot of this. And most importantly, allow it to unfold as it will. Don't force it, or become discouraged because resistance crops up and you have to deal with it. You can deal with it. And indeed, you're supposed to deal with it, right? And so as we go in, once again, once it is over, I will just end the event, and you can just continue to rest and integrate for as long as you can. So if you want to just go into nap time or just stay in meditation, I'll just end it. So I'll say my goodbyes now, right? So without further ado, once again, let's get comfortable. Take 3 deep life force breaths. In through your nose, out through your mouth. By the third one, gently and easily close your eyes. And continuing to breathe gently and easily, now strongly invested and empowered, aligned with your I am presence. And see before you now, in your mind's eye, your world, all those you work with, live with, play with, fight with, attach to, dream of. All the aspects of your world. And full up now, after your experience here, allow your heart's light to shine forth from who you are, and as you are, I am. Repeat to yourself silently, I am the I am of the I am presence. I am the I am of the I am presence. I am the I am of the I am presence. I ask my primal soul now to look at who I am. I ask my higher self to look at who I am. In the glorious, glorious garden of my birth, I ask now that my oversoul enjoy what I am becoming.
I am my own special creation. So, come take a look. Give me the hook or the ovation. It's my world that I want to have a little pride in. My world, and it's not a place I have to hide in. Life's not worth a damn till you can say, hey world, I am what I am. I am what I am. I don't want praise. I don't want pity. I bang my own drum. Some think it's noise. I think it's pretty. And so what? If I love each feather and each spangle, why not try to see things from a different angle? Your life is a sham till you can shout out loud, I am what I am. I am what I am, and what I am needs no excuses. I deal my
And so now, staying where you are, eyes still gently closed, allow the images of all others in your world to fade from your inner vision. Your heart light now fully expressed of your I am. It is time to maximally accept your divine I am presence before Source, with Source, as Source, free from doubt, resistance, awkwardness, hesitation, or fear, and gently placing your hands over your heart now, left hand over right. Please stand in your own power and light. You may remain seated or physically stand, whatever you feel drawn to do at this moment. Amen and amen.
Who are